All right, so the first season of She Professed Herself, Pupil of the Wise Man, and maybe the only season is finally complete. We just finished watching episode number 12. And to start off with all you guys, I definitely want to just kind of make this very clear before I actually say anything, because I'm going to wrap up the episode and I'm going to wrap up the season in this review right now. But I do want to say that I did, in every fiber of my being, try to really like this show. And in a lot of different fashions, there was a lot of things that I did indeed like about the show. Specifically, our main character, right? Our MC Mira, I really, really enjoyed. We have her fairy character, really enjoyed. We have Luminaria, really enjoyed. Simon, not so much. But regardless, there were things and there were moments of the anime that I really did like. And there were episodes that were really good. But on the alternative, there was a lot of things I didn't like, a lot of things I hated. And I'm going to kind of talk about all of that right now. But the main thing I want to get across is I did, in fact, try to like this anime. And again, it's definitely something that is watchable. And I would even rewatch again. Once the dub is finally complete, I would definitely rewatch again. Because I think the dub is definitely the way to watch this show over the sub. And that's just my personal opinion. But I definitely want to make that clear. So now let's talk about the wrap up. So I'm gonna talk about the episode 12, obviously, and I'm gonna talk about the wrap up of everything. So in episode number 12, what they tried to do, right, is they basically tried to get the band back together, and they try to get the Avengers back together, which was Luminaria, Mira, and Simon or Simon or whatever the king's name is, right? And the whole time they're making a big stink about, Simon not going out into the battlefield and not getting injured, not getting hurt. But alternatively, that's what ends up happening anyways. And he goes and faces the big boss with Mira and Luminaria, which, whatever, that is cool. But they try to make it like this big old spectacle. And ultimately, they end up pulling off the Thanos win. They end up pulling off the win against this big old dragon, and they end up, quote unquote, saving the kingdom and then getting recognized for that and everything too. Really, outside of that, that's really all that happened this episode. Outside of Mira, recognizing or talking to kind of her confidants, which is the elf dude and the fairy girl, and then kind of setting the stage up for what she's going to go on next to her next adventure, etc., etc. So all of that is fine. It's whatever, right? So here's where my problems really start: is Simon, however you guys want to say his name. Mira, Luminaria, right? Luminaria has been there for 10 years. Simon has been there for 30 years. And then Mira has been there for like the last year, okay? So my biggest problem with the anime is they got isekai, reincarnated, whatever. They got isekai into this world. And my biggest pet peeve with the anime is in no way do any of the characters actually act like that, right? They all just continue to act like they have before when they were just playing the game. And the anime constantly calls out to instances that happened in the past. So they call out to this instance and this instance and this instance back in the past. And if you look at those flashbacks, right, when Simon and Dan Balf were talking, during that instance, essentially what they did was they were talking about, uniting the continent as a whole and gaining the wise man or the 10 pupils under him or whatever. And they were already not treating it like a game, but they were treating it like they were already isekai to that, which that's kind of where my problems start, is they were so either absorbed in the game that they already were misconstruing real life with the game, that they kind of already kind of crossed those lines. There was a lot of gray there. So then when they got reincarnated, it's like they just kind of, or isekai, they just kind of like continued that, and they continue to gamify it, and they continue to make it like a game, like it's just not serious. Like in no way or shape or form, being isekai into this world, like they never took any of that seriously. Like they never actually like wondered, well, why am I here? How did I get isekai here? I was playing the game there, and then maybe server shut down or something, and then I got like none of that is ever talked about. And that's been my biggest problem with is like we're just like supposed to go plot, what's that, and that's been kind of my biggest problem with the anime. And that continues on to the ending when they talk about, oh, we're gonna go and find these other wise men. It's like, well, how do you know 100% that they were isekai into this world? And how do you know that maybe that's not just their avatar that continued to live on, but that's not actually that? Like, we just we just simply just don't know. And that's what bothers me about the anime. It's so loose with all of its plot that it makes you just simply go, just enjoy watching it, which again you can do. But when you watch, and this has been my other issues, when you watch subbed, you have to give your most attentiveness to it. Unless you can speak Japanese, then obviously it's just normal. But if you can't, like most of us, you have to give your entire attention to it so you don't miss any dialogue that's happening. And when you do that, you notice all the plot holes. Now, I do think that the anime, like I said earlier, can still be enjoyed dubbed because you can kind of turn your brain off, maybe, be on your phone, maybe play on your Switch, or, do something else as you're watching it to where it's like, oh, it's just an easy breezy, fill the background type of anime. And I really think it does fit that bill pretty well. So that's kind of my thoughts on everything, very okay anime. It has been from the start. One of the weirdest episode ones I've ever seen in my life, with the weirdest music montage ever. Very, very dumb. Definitely didn't enjoy episode 1. Episode 2 and 3 got better. 4 was crap. 5 was okay. 6 was better. It went back and forth with good episodes, bad episodes, okay episodes, bad episode again, good episode. And then this episode, I would put it was an okay ending. But I am glad that it did that it did end. I would be very, very surprised if this ever gets a season 2. But I mean, obviously, what do I know? It did get it dubbed. So it must have had enough push behind it to even get cleared for a dub. But I'm gonna leave the rest in your guys' thoughts. I think this was a very 6 out of 10 anime at best. I think it had a lot of potential, and it had a lot of elements that could be explored. I don't know if any of that was explored in like the source material at all. If it was, it would have been great if they pulled some of that in with this. But since they didn't, it just kind of is what it is, and it was a kind of a very okay anime that I probably, after I finished watching the dub one time, I'll probably never watch it ever again. So let me know what you guys thought about the season finale of this episode here. I definitely would appreciate some thoughts in the comments. Don't forget, we're going to be back in the spring with a lot of springtime anime. Make sure you guys check out our video on top 10 anime we're going to be watching in the spring. Check that out. And to you, thank you guys for being with me on this journey on She Professed Herself, Pupil of the Wise Man. Peace out, guys.